So I've got a couple things on the agenda today. It's another beautiful day here in New Orleans, a beautiful Monday, and I'm planning to run over to the mechanic right now actually and get my AC looked at. It hasn't been working very well. I know I've mentioned this before, it really hasn't been working in a while, but what I need to do is get it recharged. What I did is I had it recharged once before, and then they said that there was a leak in the system, and then I took it back like a couple weeks later when it stopped working and they couldn't find the leak, and they said that maybe it was the condenser fan that was causing like the Freon to evaporate. I don't really know how it can evaporate if there's not a hole in the system somewhere, but anyways, they wanted to do the condenser fan, and I decided to actually just not do it with them and just do it myself, and I made a video about that. I'll link it at the end of this description here, but you know, obviously since then the Freon had already run out and I just hadn't taken the time to get it recharged. So I'm gonna go in there, you know, pay them to recharge it and see maybe if they can put their eyes on it again and maybe see what this leak is. Who knows, maybe it is just somehow magically evaporating and there's no hole in the system, but I find that pretty hard to believe. But I don't know, at some point I need to find out. It's 85 degrees here today and it is really hot driving around in this car even with the windows down, so I definitely need to get it taken care of. The trip to the mechanic ended up taking up the better part of the day here, but it worked out. The AC is blowing ice cold right now. It really feels great inside the cab, and they put some more dye in it, and they're hoping that, you know, if it does leak again, I'll take it back to them right away, and that, you know, hopefully they'll be able to find the leak. But they haven't been able to. They've looked at it 3 times now and they haven't. Regardless, they've been really, really awesome so far, so I can't really complain too much. They didn't even charge me for the labor to recharge the Freon in here. So, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, it works out and the issue doesn't come back. But if not, there's going to be a leak that's really hidden in here somewhere, or it's an issue with my compressor, which will also suck. So hopefully those 2 things are not the problem and we'll be good to go for the rest of the summer. So I've got some bad news. The other day the drone decided to, how should I say, I guess commit suicide. It's no longer with us, unfortunately. It was kind of a rough situation. I was actually flying it just for that videography gig that I've been doing recently, and it was kind of rough. I don't know, I turned it on, I kind of just pretty normal overall, put it up in the air, it was fine. But then when it was in the air, the camera started cutting out. So you normally get a stream to your phone through the DJI Go app. It's like an app for your phone that allows you to control the drone. And the camera, the view kept cutting in and out. And that had never happened before. I'd never seen anything like that. So naturally I got pretty worried and decided to bring the drone back down to the ground. Tried landing it. The app was really acting kind of funky. There were some issues with it, I guess. Put it on the ground. You know, it landed, it was touching the ground, it was fine, but the propellers were still spinning a little bit, like not as fast as normal, but they were still spinning. And so I pressed the button to land it, which is just to turn off the propellers. I figured that would cut all the power to the propellers and it would be fine. But instead it decided when I did that to put up a message that said landing failure, and then it shot straight up into the air and hit a tree and then came down really hard, and this is kind of what I have left of it so far. Or in all. Overall, like, the body looks pretty good. It's actually really not that bad. If you look at it, you wouldn't really realize that it's been in a crash at all. Some of like this little plastic casing along the line that I'm pointing at here was kind of like separated a little bit, but I just put it back together and it was fine. I don't know about the internals, if things are okay internally. They may or may not be. The battery casing was damaged here. Can see that there's like a little crack in the casing. I think there's one on the other side too, but the battery still works when I plug it in. The concern, I think, is that the gimbal camera and the gimbal is completely destroyed. So this thing popped off when it hit the ground. So the camera is detached, and the gimbal underneath here is just like a flopping piece of metal. It's just hanging here. So that's I think that's where the most expensive concern is for fixing it. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do about this. I called DJI like the second after it happened and spoke with their tech support, mentioned that the app was crashing, and even after the fact, when I was like trying to reopen the app to look at the flight log and stuff like that, it was still crashing. It wouldn't even open on my phone anymore. So it was definitely a malfunction of the DJI Go app, and I mean, I believe that they're at fault for the drone shooting up into the air and then crashing into a tree. But they mentioned, like, immediately off the bat when I was talking to the tech support, they were looking for reasons why it could possibly be my fault. And they mentioned something about a telephone wire being in the vicinity and how that was probably the problem, or something ridiculous. I mean, I've been flying around telephone wires for many different times before with this and never had a problem. So it is what it is. The option here is that I can send it to them. I have to ship it to them. I'll have to pay for that, and then I have to pay them a minimum fee just to look at it, and then they'll decide whether or not it's their fault or my fault, and then they can either give me my drone back or they can fix it and probably charge me hundreds of extra dollars just to fix it. It's probably a big racket. I really don't know if I trust it very much based on what I've heard about it so far. If any of you guys have experience with the DJI repair program, and if you've had issues with drones like flying off because of software or firmware issues, I mean, let me know. Any information is helpful at this point, because the other option is just to sell this thing for parts on eBay, just get rid of it and be done with it. And that's kind of what I'm leading towards right now. There's a couple of other great drones that are coming out. GoPro's releasing one, so maybe I would move on to GoPro and stay away from DJI for a while. The problem is there really aren't too many other options for drones. I mean, DJI is the leader in drones, so when they have issues like this, I mean, it is what it is. You just have to deal with it and just buy another DJI drone, which is kind of a crappy situation to be in. But I don't know. Right now I'm thinking just sell on eBay and just be done with drones for a little while, try to save up some money and get another one at some point in the future. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any experience fixing drones, or have had any experience dealing with DJI's technical support, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments section below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll talk to you all in the next video.